Hello everyone and welcome. In this video I'll show you how you can quickly preview your scenes without having to fully render them and even update older scenes for clients or your portfolio using AImagine. For this demo I've already prepared two images. On the right we have the viewport and here a 20-minute render of the same camera view. With these two images we'll see how AI can help us generate better versions quickly. Let's start with the render. I'll paste in a prompt that describes the scene and what I expect the model to do. Once the prompt is ready, I can visualize the scene using my local ComfyUI installation. If you encounter an error here, it usually means your local or remote API isn't running, so you'll need to start the API. In some cases, your service provider might be down. To check the details, just right-click, Show Error Details, and you'll see exactly why the selected API isn't working. Now my ComfyUI server is running, so let's try again. I'll re-execute the prompt with the same image, and in just a few seconds, here's the result. It's not bad, but let's test another model. I'll save this first version for reference and switch to a different model that focuses more on enhancing the render rather than changing it too much. The first attempt had some issues with vegetation, but this second model produces something much closer to what I expect. You can also build your own custom ComfyUI configurations, but what's really exciting is that we can run the same prompt and same image through an API like Google Gemini 2.5 Flash. The process is much faster, but the output is almost identical to the original. For editing tasks, it's better to actually change something in your prompt so the model has a reason to regenerate the scene. Let's try converting this to a sunset. Here's the sunset version. Looks nice. I'll save it and test another model. This time the SeeDream model, which also supports editing with prompts. And here's the result. Much more color. Not perfect, but definitely an interesting interpretation. Now instead of the rendered image, let's try with the viewport image. I'll activate the viewport, load it into AImagine and use the same prompt with the SeeDream model. This gives us a different perspective. The house remains the same, but the environment changes. I'll save it and also run the same prompt with the Google Gemini 2.5 Flash model. If you use this button, the model will take the last generated image as its reference. But if I reload the viewport and run it again, Google will attempt to convert it into a more photorealistic version. Once I have that, I can even feed Google's output back into my local model to enhance it further. And that's the real power here. Generating a solid image from a simple viewport without waiting hours for a render and creating multiple variations that give you different perspectives on the same design. For example, here's the same house converted into winter. I think this model handles it better than the others, so I'll save it. To make it even more dynamic, let's add some falling snow. Finally, let's switch over to Google again and convert this image into spring sunny day. The first try didn't go through because I selected a model that didn't support the generated image, but once I reselect Google, here's the spring version. Looks really good. I'll enhance it with my local setup to add more realism. The result is a bit different, even a different house in some details, but still useful as an alternate version. I'll also try another ComfyUI model that enhances quality without changing too much. The result is decent, though not dramatically better than Google's version. As mentioned in earlier videos, the advantage is that while AI is working, you can continue modeling in 3ds Max instead of waiting for a render. Now, one issue with AI outputs is that sometimes they lack detail. This is where upscalers come in. We found one that works especially well with CGI models. Let's upscale the Google Gemini image. No new prompt needed, just upscale. And here's the result, a sharper, more detailed version. Not perfect, but a big improvement and now polished enough for presentations or client reviews. And that brings us to the end of this demo. I hope you've enjoyed seeing the different workflows and possibilities. Remember, even if you don't use this exact setup, these models are improving every month. Each new release brings more realism and flexibility, and this technology is only going to speed up your workflow, letting you work faster, explore more variations, and get more done in less time. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, we've already submitted the AImagine tool to the Autodesk App Store and we're waiting for final approval. The app will be available for download very soon. Don't forget to subscribe for updates. Thanks again and see you in the next video.